What if I told you that as a manager, it was never your job to motivate your employees in the first place?
What?
If you think you have to motivate your team, that means you have been doing something very wrong. People are usually motivated by default. It's called intrinsic motivation. They are driven by satisfying internal needs rather than driven by external rewards like money. They do the job because they want to, because it interests or it satisfies them or they simply enjoy doing it. But to this day, it's still a common practice trying to motivate extrinsically. A classic carrot and stick approach. But this approach is outdated and not constructive. Many studies and experiments in the past have proven that motivating extrinsically has no lasting effect. It can even have a negative impact on overall performance. I made a whole video on that issue. I will upload it soon. Okay, Mr. Expert, what else am I supposed to do then if my employees are motivated? That's easy. Don't demotivate them.
What?
As I mentioned earlier, your employees don't need to be motivated. They already are. But many managers and companies have created a work environment that sucks out all the motivation of your employees. So your job as a manager is to create a work environment that doesn't demotivate them. How do you do that? Even though you can't buy motivation, at least not for the long run, people still need money to pay their bills. But if you pay your employees too little, that creates frustration and demotivation. That means if you pay your employees an above average income, they won't be more motivated that way. But if they feel like the salary is too low and unfair compared to others, that leads to extreme demotivation. Because your employees feel exploited. The internal salary structure is key here. If an employee contributes more to the overall success of the organization or has more responsibility than others, then of course he or she should be paid more in all fairness. Of course, this is always subjective and there are different assessments, but an extreme mismatch between salaries leads to demotivation. While we are on the issue of fairness, you also shouldn't play favorites. I asked my friend Mike from YouTube channel Leadership with Mike what he thinks about that.
Thank you, Bernd. I'm glad you asked. Here's something. Listen, I know and you know, we all have favorites. We have people that we enjoy working with more than other people. We have people that annoy us more than other people. But as a leader, as a supervisor, a manager, your job is to not play favorites. You are the professional and you need to make sure that you are being fair across the board. Whether you like somebody more or you like somebody less, the moment you start playing favorites, the motivation of the team starts to go down the toilet.
Micromanaging is like a sickness that runs deep in so many organizations. Micromanagers monitor and assess every little detail. They shy away from delegating decisions because they love to be in full control. The problem is that intrinsic motivated employees love autonomy. They want to do the job independently and with a high degree of freedom. But a micromanager robs them of these things. No wonder that they become demotivated. So don't be a micromanager. Don't be like this guy here. Excuse me? Here are two easy to implement tips for you. Give your employees more flexibility when it comes to their work schedule or the order in which tasks are completed. With the next project, let your employees do the tasks the way they want it to do. You just set milestones to check if everything is still on track or if your employees need some support. But as long as they get there, let them do their thing. Only control during the milestones, not in between. According to Dan Pink, intrinsic motivated employees are driven by mastery. They want to become better at what they are doing. As a manager, you should give them room to grow. And you should support them at getting better. Provide additional trainings, for instance. Send them to conferences or workshops that would provide them with new or deeper knowledge. As they get better at their job, give them more responsibilities and decision-making authority. Show your employees that you care and that you want them to thrive. They will pay you back with more engagement and motivation. By giving feedback, we try to help others to learn from their mistakes. Or we want to praise them for a job well done. But if you don't do it correctly, it can result in low self-esteem and demotivation. Correct feedback, no matter if it's positive or negative, has to be concrete, objective and specific. John, your presentation was just awful and boring. Okay, so firstly, feedback has also to be appreciative and respectful. And secondly, that was a generic statement. What is John supposed to take away from that feedback? A better way to say that would be, John, I think you used too many presentation slides. You went through 100 slides in 20 minutes. That's too many. Next time, just try to narrow it down and keep the presentation under 15 minutes, please. Now, John knows exactly what to do next time to give a better presentation. You also shouldn't criticize your employees in front of others. Actually, that goes without saying, but there are still managers out there who do that. That's a surefire way to crush your employees' self-esteem and motivation. Most managers I talk to assume that their employees know exactly what the company needs them to do and why they need to do it. But the truth is, once you dig deeper, you find out that this is not the case at all. Intrinsic motivated employees, they want to know why they are working for you. They need a purpose and clarity. Show them what the big picture is and how their work contributes to your or the company's vision. A great way to do so is to include your employees in goal setting. That makes it easier for them to see how and why their job has a direct impact on achieving the company goals. But if they have no idea what purpose their job serves, they will become disengaged soon. Most employees who leave an organization leave their manager rather than the organization itself. No matter how motivated your employees are at first, if you treat them poorly, they will disengage and possibly even leave the company. I'm talking about respect, honesty, support, and a clear communication. Recognize the achievements of your employees. Give them sincere positive feedback to feel valued and celebrate small wins together. One more important thing, you can't expect full engagement from your employees if you aren't fully engaged yourself. If your employees feel that you enjoy your job, that you really are committed to the vision and that you display motivation, that becomes contagious. Your vibe will infect your employees in a good way as well as in a bad way. So lead by example. Don't you think you are overestimating the impact one manager can have? You think so? Mike, what do you think? Is it possible that one manager can single-handedly demotivate an entire team?
You bet your bottom dollar it is.
So, what does he know anyway?
Bern, who is this guy? You need to sit down and you need to talk to your friend.
I know, Mike. Believe me, I have tried in the past, but it's a hard nut to crack. So, if you take these advices and put them all to practice, you will never have to worry about motivating your employees ever again. If you want to learn more about being a good leader, you should check out this video from Mike, or you head over to his channel. I'm sure it will be useful for you. Thank you, Mike, and thank you for watching. See you soon.